We all long for happiness. It's what we strive for, what we believe will bring us peace. Yet, for many of us, it often seems just out of reach. Why is it that, despite our best intentions, we find ourselves sabotaging our own happiness? Is it possible that we are our own worst enemies when it comes to living a fulfilled and joyous life? In this video, we will explore the hidden forces that drive us to undermine our own well-being. We'll dive into the psychological, emotional, and philosophical reasons that lie behind this self-sabotage, and how we can break free from this cycle. The first culprit is the fear of change. It's easy to fall into the comfort of the familiar, even when it doesn't make us happy. Change, no matter how small, is scary. The idea of moving from a bad situation to a potentially better one often feels overwhelming. And so, we stay stuck, clinging to the safety of the known. Even if the current situation is painful, like a toxic relationship, a job that drains our energy, or a negative self-image, the idea of letting go of that pain feels more familiar than embracing uncertainty. This is known as the status quo bias. Our brains prefer the comfort of what we know, even if it leads to unhappiness. But true happiness often requires risk. It means stepping outside of our comfort zones and accepting the discomfort that comes with growth. It's only when we face that fear and take a leap that we can begin to open ourselves up to the possibility of a life filled with joy. Next, there is the weight of our past. We all carry baggage from our childhood, from past relationships, from experiences that have shaped our understanding of who we are and what we deserve. Perhaps, as children, we were told that we weren't good enough, or that happiness was reserved for someone else. These messages get internalized and become the subconscious scripts we follow throughout our adult lives. We start to believe that happiness is a luxury or something we don't deserve. In such cases, we unintentionally sabotage our own happiness because we don't believe we're worthy of it. The idea of being truly happy feels foreign, almost impossible. We may push away opportunities, friendships, or even love, because we fear that we'll never be good enough for them. But here's the truth: the past doesn't have to define our future. We can rewrite the story of who we are, and in doing so, we can free ourselves from the shackles of our past beliefs. Another reason we sabotage our happiness is the pursuit of perfection. It's easy to fall into the trap of believing that happiness is something we can earn by being perfect. We think that if we just work hard enough, look a certain way, or meet certain standards, then we will be worthy of happiness. But in reality, the pursuit of perfection is a never-ending cycle. It's an illusion that sets us up for failure and disappointment. Perfection is unattainable, and yet we constantly chase it, believing that only through its attainment will we be allowed to be happy. The truth is, happiness doesn't come from perfection. It comes from embracing our flaws, from being kind to ourselves, and from accepting that we are enough as we are. Perfectionism leaves no room for grace, and without grace, true happiness is impossible to find. A key driver of self-sabotage is our innate desire for control. We want to control our environment, our relationships, and even our emotions. But life, as we know, is unpredictable. No matter how hard we try to control every aspect, the reality is that life will always surprise us. When we try to control too much, we become anxious and stressed. This anxiety can lead to self-sabotage, as we overthink and overcompensate, making decisions out of fear rather than wisdom. The path to happiness is not about controlling everything. It's about accepting that some things are beyond our control and learning to flow with life's ups and downs. Only when we release the need for control can we find peace and allow happiness to enter our lives naturally. Finally, we sabotage our happiness because we fear what it will do to our identity. Happiness, to some, can feel like a threat to the story they built about who they are. If you've spent most of your life seeing yourself as a victim, as someone who has to fight for everything, or as someone who doesn't deserve happiness, the idea of actually being happy might feel destabilizing. The truth is, happiness is not a threat to our identity. It's a natural part of being human. Embracing happiness doesn't mean you lose yourself. It means you're allowing your true self to emerge. When we let go of the stories that limit us, we open up to the possibility of living a life full of joy and fulfillment. Remember, you are worthy of happiness, not because you're perfect, but because you are human. You deserve joy, peace, and love, and it's time to let yourself have it.